Another storm is on its way. Thanks so much for joining us at 6 a.m. on this Friday. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampour. Yeah, we're seeing the effects by way of big waves first, but just clouds. It's going to be a nice day today before the rain really picks up. By about noon tomorrow, you'll notice it. So here's a look at Southern California right now. Really calm. You see the green way up north, though. Unfortunately for the Bay Area, for Sacramento, all the way through Santa Cruz, Central California, they're going to continue to get dumped on here today through tomorrow. For us, we're looking at two atmospheric rivers, two more coming our way, and they do tend to fizzle out before they get to us here in San Diego. So we'll time it out for you, let you know how much we can expect. But I'll tell you, Saturday into Sunday early morning, and then Monday into Tuesday, that's when our next rounds will arrive.
New this morning, 2 people are in custody after a pursuit ended with a crash here at a trolley station. Take a look here. It happened on 8th Street in Chula Vista around 10:30 last night. The Sheriff's Department tells us they were chasing a car that matched a stolen car report in Imperial Beach. No one was hurt, but there's a lot of damage there at the trolley station.
And this morning, the sister of missing mother Maya Millete will continue her testimony in court.
She is testifying during the preliminary hearing for Maya's husband, Larry, who is charged with her murder. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol is live downtown with more on what's been said in court here so far. Dana Marie?
Well, that's right. Good morning, Eric and Netta. We've been your eyes and ears inside the courtroom, and yesterday we heard from Maya's sister. She was worried that Larry Millete, Maya's husband, would snap once he found out she wanted a divorce. Now on the stand, she spoke about an argument the couple had while on vacation.
They were arguing a lot who would be driving the Jeep. Like if Larry will be driving the Jeep, my sister doesn't want to go.
Now, that was Maya's sister, Maricris Drulé. She testified that the couple was openly fighting during a trip to Glamis sand dunes just days before the mother of 3 went missing. Now, Maya's sister, Maricris, and her family were on that camping trip. She recalls the couple was arguing about Maya's new off-road Jeep. Later during that same trip to Glamis, Maricris said her sister confided in her and that she was planning on leaving her husband later. That same conversation, it did take a much darker turn. She said Maya told her that if something happens to her, it was going to be Larry. Take a listen.
She said, get ready. I'm going to file for divorce and it's going to be messy. So just be ready for it. It's going to be a messy divorce.
Now, during the cross-examination, Larry's defense attorney seemed to suggest that Maya left her family voluntarily. Now, this hearing is expected to last at least one other week. The judge is then, in the end, going to decide if there's enough evidence for Larry Millete to be tried on those murder charges. So, again, this morning, we're going to continue to hear Maya's sister on the stand for that testimony. I'm Dana Marie McNichol coming to you live from downtown San Diego.
Yeah, busy area downtown right now. Thank you for that. Right now, members of the California Public Utilities Commission are calling for action after the recent rate hikes by SDG&E. CPUC leaders announced they will bring in market experts to assess the rate hikes approved by the commission. Yes, the CPUC approved this rate increase and is now investigating it. They will also reach out to federal regulators and ask them to take a look at what is going on in the gas and electric markets. The CPUC is also considering moving up the date of when they give a climate credit to customers so people can get immediate relief on their bills. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria says the city is also feeling the impact.
What I would say to San Diegans who are struggling with these bills is to reach out to SDG&E. There are care programs to try and help defray some of these costs, but to weigh in with the regulators, which is the state of California, and tell them that we don't want this and that we want this to be looked at. I saw on the way here tonight that there's some study that's going to be performed. You know, that's great, but we want to see action. And I'll tell you, as the mayor of this city and someone who writes a big bill, a check to the utility to provide services, the more money we give them is less money for road repair, for homelessness, for housing affordability. So we all have an interest in trying to keep rates down.
I looked into this to apply and qualify for the CARE Act. A family of 4 needs to make under about $55,000. SDG&E blames the spike on the natural gas market, but ratepayers will also be paying for infrastructure improvements, including electric vehicles.
And this morning, let's talk about Northern California, bracing for more rain. In fact, it's already coming their way. They're still recovering, though, from all of the flooding. 16 local firefighters are in Merced County. That was an area hit really hard. They're helping with water rescues. Entire town of Planada underwater in Merced County. They could be there another 2 or 3 weeks, our local crews. At least 18 deaths are being attributed to the storms across the state since the last week of December. And here at home, we are already seeing some pretty dangerous conditions, some big waves along the coast. We're seeing high surf. There's also a coastal flood advisory that will take effect this morning. CBS 8's Chris Groh joining us live at Windansea Beach. Chris, I heard the loud crashing waves right where you're standing this morning. How is it right now?
Yeah, it's loud. And you know what? We always have that phrase that you hear quite often during our newscasts, and we're going to be the eyes and ears for you. And I tell you what, we may not be the eyes right now because it's dark, but we certainly are the ears. It is loud at here at Windansea Beach with this high surf, and it's low tide right now. So just imagine when high tide is in, you'll start to see those waves crashing closer and closer to the shore. That's going to be around noon. But according to the National Weather Service, we're expected to see waves as high as 8 to 12 feet. That is the projected peak here throughout San Diego County. And if you remember the last time that we had high surf and coastal flooding, you'd remember correctly. It was about last week when we were on the boardwalk in Mission Beach, Pacific Beach, watching it flood over, even getting into some of those vacation rental units and some of those coastal units that sit right there on top of the boardwalk. We even saw some of those preparations taking place even this week on Tuesday because of that rain, that downpour that we got on Tuesday. We know the ground is saturated. All of this combined, again, is the reason why we could be seeing that coastal flooding. That's why that advisory is out right now. But the advisory that we really also want to focus on too as well is the fact that San Diego lifeguards are preaching yet again that inexperienced swimmers and surfers should not be out and about in these waters during this high surf. In fact, if we do see any surfers today, we'll be sure to let you know. But what they're saying is that only the most experienced of surfers should be out here. In fact, just on Friday, just last Friday, we had a rescue that was performed when we had that high surf advisory going on right here at Windansea Beach, as well as a host of other rescues that took place during that time, during that weather. So again, the surf is no joke, even for the most experienced. So again, your strap could become loose, and then at that point, if you lose control of your board, you're in distress. It's up to those lifeguards to go out and get you. So again, best to be safe here. Enjoy the surf from the shore, from where you can stay dry. Netta?
Those leashes ripping off, boards breaking, it's that type of conditions that we're talking about. Chris, thank you for that live report. We'll check back with you in a bit. And obviously we're waiting for the sun to come up around 6:50 this morning, but in this view of Cardiff, you can see pretty big waves coming through, and there'll likely be a lot of strong surfers and swimmers who look forward to these types of conditions, who may be out this morning checking out the wave heights. Well, right now we're looking at our buoys here locally, 6 and 7 feet. Typically, we see this at 2 to 4, so it's big for us. Further out in the ocean, it's bigger. Further up north, that swell is coming in to 15 to 16 feet. Up in San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara, west-facing beaches are going to get the brunt of this northwest swell that's coming through. Coastal flood advisory not starting until 10 o'clock this morning, and that coincides mainly because high tide won't be until noon. So once you get high tide, add those big wave heights, and that's why we could see the water creeping its way over the boardwalks into our low-lying parking lots. Homes that are right along the coast could be susceptible to those big waves crashing up against them. So around noon, we'll show it to you during our midday newscast. But 8 to 12-foot waves, that's what we're seeing for today. Taking a look at what's happening across our state, of course, there's a lot of watches yet again. Winter storm warnings with heavy snow and then a lot of rain coming through. High wind watches, too, associated with this next atmospheric river. Yeah, another one coming through right now across the Bay Area. It's going to get heavier and work its way further south, of course, and it won't get to us until tomorrow, mainly around noon. So today, enjoy a few clouds in the sky. Right now, we're in the 40s for Poway, 47, 41 Escondido. Along the coast, you're in the upper 40s to low 50s, and this afternoon, you'll notice upper 60s. So just a few clouds today. It's a nice looking Friday the 13th, in fact. No rain in sight for us yet. Saturday at noon, it will begin. It'll get heavy throughout Saturday night. By Sunday morning, though, it will dry up, and then the next round comes on Sunday night. So I'll time that out for you here in just a few minutes. We'll look closer at what the weekend has planned for you. Right now, if you're heading out on the roads, I can say that there's no major issues across North County, downtown, the South Bay looking fine. There was one crash I noticed pop up about 30 minutes ago, and it's right there on the 125 southbound, right at Grossmont Boulevard. The center lane is blocked because of the crash. You might see a little bit of backups there in the La Mesa, Mount Helix area, so just a heads up. Eric.